What if I told you that what truly draws a woman in isn't what you think? It's not your looks, it's not your money, and it's not the charm you've been told to master. Because what women secretly admire in men, they rarely ever say out loud. They'll compliment your smile, maybe your confidence. But what really captures them goes much deeper. It's the energy behind your silence, the steadiness in your presence, the quiet confidence that tells her, you don't need to prove anything. Most men chase attention, they show off, they perform, they talk too much, thinking that attraction comes from being noticed. But a Stoic man understands something different. Real attraction doesn't come from being loud, it comes from being grounded. There's a kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself, a calm strength that women feel long before they understand why. And that's what makes a man unforgettable. In this video, we'll go deep into the hidden traits, the subtle behaviors that women quietly admire. The ones they never ask for, but never forget. Because once you understand these, you stop trying to impress and start embodying the kind of man who naturally earns respect, desire, and loyalty. Stay until the end, because the truth about attraction isn't found in what you say to women. It's found in how you carry yourself when you say nothing at all. Number 1, the way you handle stress. Life will test you in ways you can't predict. Things will fall apart. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. And in those moments, a woman doesn't just see your reaction, she feels it. Most men panic when life stops going their way. They get irritated, raise their voice, lose control. But the man who remains calm, he stands out. Imagine this. You're on a date and your food order comes out completely wrong. Some men would snap, complain, or make a scene. Others would smile, handle it with quiet composure, and move on. That calm energy speaks volumes. It shows self-control, emotional stability, and strength. A woman might not say it out loud, but she feels safer around a man who doesn't crumble under pressure. When you stay grounded during chaos, you're sending a silent message. You can rely on me. That's rare. That's attractive. Handling stress well doesn't mean pretending nothing bothers you. It means having the discipline to stay centered when your emotions want to take over. Most men never learn this. They react to life instead of responding to it. But a Stoic man learns to pause, breathe, and act with clarity. There's a power in restraint, in knowing that anger or anxiety won't solve anything, but presence will. When you stay calm, you invite respect. When you lose control, you lose the room. You don't have to be unshakable all the time. Even strong men get tired, anxious, or overwhelmed. But strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's the ability to hold your ground through it. So, the next time life throws you off balance, don't rush to fix everything. Take a breath, observe, respond slowly. Because in that quiet control lies one of the most magnetic qualities a man can ever possess: calmness under pressure. Number 2, being attentive without being overbearing. There's a quiet strength in a man who pays attention, not in the loud performative way, but through the small, almost invisible details that most people overlook. When you remember how she takes her coffee, wish her luck before a big day, or bring up something she mentioned in passing, you're sending a clear message. I see you. I listen. You matter. These gestures might seem simple, but they carry weight. Because real attentiveness isn't about constant messages or over-the-top gestures. It's about awareness. It's about presence. Women notice when a man is fully there, not distracted, not halfway in, but genuinely tuned into the moment and to her. But here's where balance matters. Too little attention can feel like indifference. Too much can feel like pressure. The difference lies in intention. Attention given freely, not from insecurity or the need to impress, but from genuine care. Imagine she tells you she's stressed about a work project. You don't flood her with questions or advice. A few days later, you simply ask how it went. Or maybe she mentions her favorite dessert. Next time you see her, you bring it, not to show off, but because you remembered. Those moments stay with her, not because of what you gave, but because of what it meant. It showed you were listening when no one else was. That's rare. That's magnetic. Being attentive doesn't require grand gestures. It requires presence of mind, the kind that can't be faked. And when you master that balance, showing care without control, attention without attachment, she'll feel something far deeper than attraction. She'll feel understood. Number 3, self-discipline and follow-through. Self-discipline is quiet. It doesn't shout on Instagram. It doesn't need applause. But women notice it the way sailors notice a steady lighthouse on a stormy night. Reliable, unmoving, necessary. This trait isn't measured by one gym selfie or one promotion. It's measured by the small, repeated choices you make when no one is watching. Follow-through is the visible proof of inner command. You say you'll call at 8. You call at 8. You promise to help with a task. You show up and do the work. You set a goal and you do the boring, daily work required to reach it. These are the things that build trust faster than any speech about values. Habit creates credibility. Why does this matter? Because attraction, for most women, is tied to stability. Emotional safety isn't romance novel fluff. It's the knowledge that the man beside you can be relied upon when life complicates. Consistency signals competence. Competence signals leadership. Leadership creates polarity. Polarity creates longing. A simple test. Notice who you respect more. The man who announces grand plans, or the man who quietly completes them. The latter moves through life with a lower center of gravity. He doesn't need to prove himself. His results speak. Practical application. Stop treating promises like suggestions. Reduce the friction between intention and action. If you agree to something and later can't keep it, own it early and fix it. But better yet, build a life where last-minute cancellations are rare, because discipline is the habit, not the exception. This is not about perfection. It's about becoming the kind of man who can be trusted to carry his own weight. That steadiness is magnetic. It doesn't seduce with noise. It draws by example. Be the man whose word is a small, immovable fortress. Women feel that. They remember it. Number 4, protective instincts that create real safety. Protection isn't armor or bravado. It's a quiet competence that makes the world feel less dangerous. Women notice it the way a ship notices a steady lighthouse, not because it shouts, but because it never wavers. There are 2 sides to this, physical awareness and emotional sanctuary. And both matter. Physical safety is simple, practical presence. It's scanning the room with calm attention, choosing the right route home, or noticing when a situation could become uncomfortable and stepping in before it does. None of this requires display or posturing. In fact, posturing undermines it. True protection is invisible until you need it. Then it is obvious and unquestionable. Emotional safety is deeper and far rarer. It's the habit of listening without needing to fix. It's holding your steadiness when she speaks her fears, not collapsing into impatience or judgment. It's respecting boundaries without commentary. It's being the man who creates space for her to be vulnerable and then keeps that vulnerability sacred. That absence of drama, the refusal to escalate, the refusal to weaponize emotions, is profoundly magnetic. Do not mistake this for control. Protectiveness is not about owning someone. It's about making someone free to be themselves. When a man is thoughtful, present, and reliably steady, he signals, "I will not make your life harder. I will not add chaos to your day." That message, more than flowers or promises, breeds trust. Practical rule: make safety a default, not an event. Notice details. Keep your composure. Respect her limits. Be the man whose presence reduces anxiety and increases ease. That kind of protection doesn't scream for attention. It earns the quiet loyalty few realize they were craving. Number 5. Subtle confidence in social settings. Confidence isn't noise. It's not being the loudest man in the room or filling every silence with words. True confidence is something you feel, a quiet gravity that draws people in. Women notice the man who remains composed in a social setting, who walks into a group of strangers without seeking permission from the world, who joins a conversation without trying to dominate it. It shows in the smallest gestures, introducing yourself with calm ease, adding your thoughts when it fits, and listening when others speak instead of waiting for your turn. It's not about overpowering. It's about presence. Not about performing, but being. When a man carries himself like this, treating everyone with equal respect, from close friends to the waiter at the table, he's sending a silent message. I'm grounded. I don't need to prove anything. Why is that so attractive? Because it creates a sense of safety. She doesn't have to manage the moment for you or fix your awkwardness. She can simply be. Subtle confidence makes the air lighter, and that calm energy naturally sparks curiosity, respect, and eventually closeness. Here's the rule. Speak less. Listen more. Act when it matters. Respect everyone as a standard, not as a strategy. Hold that steady energy long enough, and you'll become the kind of man a woman wants near. Not because you demand attention, but because your presence makes her world feel calmer. Number 6. A healthy emotional range. Society often tells men that showing emotion is weakness, that to be strong means to be cold, distant, and untouchable. But the truth is, women quietly admire men who can express emotion without being controlled by it. The man who can laugh deeply, smile with sincerity, and feel moved by something meaningful shows something rare: depth and humanity. Emotional range doesn't mean spilling every thought or breaking down at every difficulty. It's balance, the ability to feel without losing composure. A man who can stand in the storm of his emotions and remain grounded communicates something powerful, that he has mastered himself. And that mastery makes women feel safe around him. Because strength without warmth feels intimidating, and warmth without strength feels unstable. But the combination, calmness with genuine feeling, is magnetic. When a man listens with presence, speaks with honesty, and shows compassion without losing his edge, he becomes the kind of man a woman can truly trust. A man with emotional depth doesn't just connect. He creates space for others to do the same. His vulnerability doesn't make him soft. It makes him real. His restraint doesn't make him cold. It makes him strong. That balance between heart and discipline is what women admire most, even if they'll rarely say it out loud. Number 7. A sense of purpose. Beyond yourself. Purpose is quiet. It does not shout. It shows up in the way a man spends his mornings, the projects he refuses to abandon, the small obligations he keeps even when it's inconvenient. Women notice that silence. They notice a man who lives with direction, whether that direction is building a craft, caring for family, serving a cause, or simply holding himself to a standard of daily excellence. Purpose doesn't need to be grandiose. You don't have to solve world peace. What matters is consistency and meaning. A man who trains regularly, who finishes what he starts, who guards his time and chooses how he invests his energy, signals something irresistible: stability. That stability says, without words, my life is ordered. I'm not a drifting vessel. I'm someone you can depend on. When a woman considers a future, she's not only evaluating charm or chemistry, she's asking, usually without saying it, will this life make sense together? A man with purpose answers that question before it's asked. He brings momentum. He brings a future that is not accidental. That creates safety, the deepest currency in attraction. Purpose also gives you form. It turns potential into action. It makes your ambitions visible and your values tangible. And it's attractive because it's rare. Most men float, reacting to stimuli. A purposeful man creates the stimuli. If you want to be memorable, stop trying to be liked and start being necessary. To yourself first. Build something that requires you. Be the man who has a reason to rise each morning. That clarity will do more for your presence, your confidence, and the quality of women you attract than any line, image, or temporary charm. Purpose is not a trick. It is a life. Live it, and loyalty will follow. Stay grounded, stay disciplined, and remember, a man's true power comes from his purpose. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment with your biggest insight, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every week. This is The Stoic Wolf, where men return to strength, silence, and self-mastery.